pictures there of the Bay Area on this Friday morning, and Nick James is reporting there live. We're taking a look at the surf because there is a underline possible tsunami coming for the San Francisco Bay Area at 8 minutes past 8 o'clock.
And why is there always that one guy, whether it's there or Hawaii, there's always the one guy
who's not listening to authorities.
Yeah. We take you live up to Oregon as well this morning. We've got warnings in effect all up and down the West Coast. Some schools have, school districts have closed for the day out on the California coast in Oregon and Seaside, Oregon, certainly. And they're just expecting to get their first waves in right about now this morning. And luckily, so far, we've seen it be fairly mellow as far as when we think of a huge tsunami wave. But again, that warning all up and down the coast. Expected to hit Crescent City, which is just south of the Oregon border, right around 7:23 this morning. So we're going to keep an eye on that one, too.
And for those of you who are just getting up on this Friday morning, this all started with an 8.9 earthquake last night in Japan. And the result of that was a massive tsunami wave that moved across the countryside in Japan. It took with it pretty much everything: land, trees,
and if
cars.
You've not seen this video before, look at this. This almost looks like it's just mud spilling over in a small puddle in your backyard. No, this is actually a real gigantic splotch of real ground in Japan. Right. I mean, this is some awful stuff.
Reminds you of that tsunami that hit Indonesia a couple of years ago, and we're getting reports that 200 to 300 people.
Is that the boat that's getting towards the house right there?
It looks like it, yeah. Yeah, 200 to 300 people possibly killed in this tsunami. Again, this was after the earthquake, which occurred earlier. The airport there, Sunday City Airport, which is right on the coast there, that was completely flooded, and you can see a lot of fires have erupted as a result of all the tsunami and the water, and it's just a wreck out there in Japan this morning.
And then, in fact, as you mentioned, it began as an earthquake, too. Well, they say 8.4 there. The reports it was as high as 8.9, close to 9.0. And this in Tokyo, the situation there is chaotic. We've got families who have been left homeless. You've got buildings that are collapsed. It's crazy there as well this morning, not just out on the coastal towns. And they've got dozens of cities all along about a 1,300-mile stretch of coastline on the east coast of Japan were shaken by violent tremors, according to the Associated Press, that did reach as far away as Tokyo, and a large chunk of one town there burning just furiously there. And we've seen lots of pictures and video of fires starting up. Reports of thousands of people who live near a nuclear power plant there had to move back at least 2 miles from the plant. And the reactor, they said, was not leaking radiation, but the core was staying hot even after a shutdown, which would certainly be cause for concern. They've got 2 other nuclear plants around as well, but there was no radiation leak or any other concern at those as well.
And Tina's been getting some new video into our newsroom here and kind of monitoring things over at the traffic center. Tina, what do you have?
Right. First, we're going to go to CHP Officer Rich Wetzel. I want to let everyone know, too, how your commute will be affected if you're heading out to the Bay Area. I know a lot of people have stopped along the Half Moon Bay area on Highway 92. Rich, good morning.
Hey, Tina, good morning. Don asked that good question. Why is there always that one guy? And that's the one guy that doesn't want to follow orders to evacuate. At this time, Highway 1 remains open. We saw hundreds, possibly thousands of cars throughout the coast certainly are lining up to get a look. I hope they're going to be disappointed and not see much at all, but expect some slowing there, and please avoid that location, although curiosity is a natural thing. Let's talk.
The latest update in just a little bit. I'm going to show you 2 video. We're watching this, watching Twitter and CBS News put out this raw video here, of course, in Japan. As you can see, houses and cars. Look at that.
Look at that. Oh, my God.
Oh, that is like the movie 2012. That is like the movie 2012 come to life.
Just devastating. Look at that.
Oh, my gosh.
Just going right into the water there. Wow.
Just amazing.
Amazing.
Look at the fires starting up.
I mean, I think, you know, all of us who've lived in California at some point have experienced some small tremor. I was in a 4.2 on Alaska once. A couple things shook on the wall, but that's just the devastation of that tsunami and the earthquake. It's unimaginable.
Yeah, and I was reading on Twitter, too, that they said 1 train derailed, 1 train is missing.
Right.
It is just horrible there.
That is just crazy. And taking a look back, too, as it approaches San Francisco, if a wave is going to hit out there on the coast around another 50 minutes minutes from now or so. Natasha found these maps of tsunami preparedness for emergency planning purposes in San Francisco, and it gives you an idea of where the tsunami warning area is. Pretty much the entire peninsula there.
It's like everywhere.
Yeah, south of the Golden Gate Bridge. Everything that's outlined in red is where the warnings are, and then the pink areas is where they would expect to see flooding. When I look at the map, that's a tsunami inundation area. So right out there along the Golden Gate Recreation area, then along the north, and then on the inside of the peninsula, inside San Francisco Bay. Over here, look at Treasure Island. That could potentially, with rising water, the naval station there be completely flooded.
You know, and
you think about not things out inland not being affected, but look at all the coastal flooding inland too along the shoreline that would expect to see some flooding from rising water.
I'm stating the obvious here, but everyone will